لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك.
Bridging the gap between the rich and the poor. I'm starting the program with the question for the day. Which of the, earlier on we talked about the pillars of Islam. Which of the pillar of Islam bridges the gap between the rich and the poor? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. You're welcome to day 6 of the first 10 days of Dhul Hijjah. We are coming to you from the studios of Ames Media Company Limited. Zakat and Sadaqah Foundation promised and they have obliged. You can see the packs of rice. So your Eid is made easy, and they're going to complement this with sacrificial animal. So what are you waiting for? That's our question for the day that I'm bringing to you at the beginning of the program. What exactly bridges the gap between the rich and poor in Islam? You're welcome to the program. Let's give you some sound bites. When we come back, our stars is still here. We're lending a voice to the topic that we have for the day. Join us shortly.
For those of us who are, what we can say are well-to-do, should use this period to reach out to loved ones, people that are in need, and see how we could help improve their lives.
You're welcome back. The program is the first 10 days in Dhul Hijjah, bridging the gap between the rich and poor. Let's again welcome to the studios of Ames Media Company Limited, Dr. Mustafa Bello. He's a senior lecturer, Department of Religious and Peace Studies, Lagos State University. You are welcome back to the program. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you for all you give us. Now, I need you to answer the question that I have posed to our viewers or our audience. Which of the pillars of Islam bridges the gap between the rich and poor?
Of course, it is zakat. Zakat is the third pillar of Islam, and it's based on the what we call inequalities in life. The Quran, Allah mentioned in the Quran, "Ahum yaksimuna ba'da a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Ahum yaksimuna rahmata rabbika. Nahnu qasamna bainakum ma'ishatan fil ayati dunya wa rafa'na fawqa ba'din darajatin liyata'iza ba'da zuhuriyya." Said, are you the one sharing the resources of the earth? I share it the way I like, and I've placed some persons above some other persons, so that some persons will serve others. That is the way God has configured the world in terms of a disposition of resources. Allah has used His own wisdom to distribute it in a dispassionate manner, using His own discretion. So regardless of how we try in a society to bridge the gap, there will still be the rich and the poor. And from the point of view of Islam, that's why a particular pillar is designed so that those who have excess of resources could also share those excesses with those who have little or nothing.
Okay.
In the circumstances of our society.
How will you differentiate between zakat and sadaqah?
Well, sadaqah, as we previously mentioned in the last episode, is whatever you do that pleases Allah, not necessarily something tangible in terms of material things. It could even be a smile, and it is voluntary, and you can do it as much as possible. In fact, the Prophet said, the day of a Muslim is not complete. It will not be said that a Muslim is going to bed on the particular day and that has not done some acts of charity. So it means that as long as we live, we keep on doing sadaqah. But zakat is specified. It is a pillar of Islam. It is compulsory for those who are rich, and it is done only once in a year.
Wow.
Once in a year. Mm-hmm. Once your money has accrued to a level where you can pay, you pay it once in a year to ameliorate the conditions of the poor and the less privileged members of society.
Okay, I think there's a name for it when it has reached the level of...
It's called Nizab.
Nisab. So now, what is the present nisab as we have? Because with the inflation and all of that.
The nisab is calculated in gold and converted to dollars, then to naira. I checked this morning, and what I found is 14.3 million.
Wow.
In Nigeria.
So you must have up to 14.3 million to qualify to pay zakat.
Accruing to you for over a year. It means that if you don't have up to 14.3 million, Allah has graciously exempted you from paying zakat. Because the rule is that you must have the minimum required to pay.
Okay.
And when you have it, you have to pay just 2.5% of it as zakat.
Which is negligible.
Very negligible.
But you see, some people say fear, just like we said during Sadaqah, that their wealth will still do that 2.5. We'll still be able to do it, use it for something now. We'll still be able to, invest it. Why do you think people are recalcitrant about paying zakat?
I think that's even outside religious fold. It has been proven that the more you give, the more you receive. That the art of receiving is in the art of giving. Nobody gives out, and whatever he gives out from will diminish. That is by nature. That is naturally have been proved over time. But religion is coming to re-emphasize that fact, that even if it's knowledge that you have and you disseminate it, it won't take anything away from you. It will add to what you have. It's the same thing for money. And that is why it is called zakah. Zakah means to improve, to purify. And when you purify something, the rest will improve in quality and in quantity.
I need you to explain to us the way everybody will understand. You are giving out something.
Yes.
Thereby reducing what you have.
Yes.
How then does it purify? It
purifies because, one, in the art of earning wealth, you must have done all kinds of things inadvertently. Those who do business, they know you must have shortchanged people without necessarily doing it intentionally. So all those things you have done, when you now pay zakat out of it, that is spirituality.
It purifies,
and when it purifies it, that means the content that is remaining will be the best of your wealth that you have. Two, when you give out to somebody, that person you have brought smiles into the face of that person. You have also brought tranquility into his heart. That person will also pray for you, will also wish you well, and that will improve your wealth. Okay. It's natural. That is the thing. But when you keep it to yourself, it's like when you put something in your hand like this and you hold tight to it, nothing will be added to it. But when you release, more things will be added. That is the principle.
All right. Interestingly enough, our partner on this program is Zakat and Sadaqah Foundation. They pioneer the area of consolidating and having a unified platform for people to send their zakat so that they can also disseminate and distribute to the needy. We, Ames Media, have also even been a beneficiary of their largesse when we had the mishap of, the Inferno. So it's a question of how do you give out zakat? Can you choose to give out, identify people you can give out zakat to, and then who are the recipients?
Yeah, from the point of view of Islam, the recipients are classified in Surah Quran chapter 9, where Allah mentioned the 8 categories of people who are beneficiaries, who must necessarily be those who are the recipients of zakat, the poor, the needy, those who administer the zakat themselves, the wayfarer, those who have incurred legitimate debt, and those who are wayfarers, and those whose hearts must be reconciled with Islam, that is, new converts into Islam, and generally in the service of the work of Allah. That is fi sabilillah, da'wah. So all these categories of people, they are the categories of people who are recipients of, and the kind is gender free, means that they could be male, they could be female, they could be adults, they could be children. Okay. Anybody who comes within these categories of Muslims are qualified to receive zakat as beneficiaries.
Interesting. Now, if you now choose to say, I want to administer my zakat myself, is there a sin in that?
There is no sin. There is no sin if you have been able to identify the poor, those who are really qualified, amongst us. You can do it, particularly in a Sharia non-compliant society like ours. But be that as it may, Muslims in a plural society like ours are now organized. They're not trying to organize in several ways. That is why we are here. We have Zakat and Sadaqah Foundation and similar organizations around us in Nigeria, in Lagos, in Abuja, in Kaduna, everywhere. So because these persons are experts in the field, they know the real, they know to calculate first. They also know the real recipient, the real pure people in the society.
In fact, they go do a lot of screening, they interview them and all of that. Our topic today is bridging the gap. And the only pillar of Islam that qualifies to bridge the gap is zakat. That is our focus on the program today. Once again, appreciation to Zakat and Sadaqah Foundation for partnering with us. Let's go for a breather.
Let's enjoy this happy day. Let's celebrate.
It's a few days to this year's Eid al-Adha. While many children eagerly await new clothes and warm meals with family members, some are silently waiting for hope. In Nigeria, over 18 million children have lost one or both parents. They face poverty, hunger, and uncertainty every day. These orphans are not just numbers, they are lives waiting for compassion from you and I. With your donation this Eid, you can bring light into their lives. With just 10,000 naira, you can feed and clothe an orphan, giving them a chance to smile. A meal, a new dress, a smile, and a reason to believe in tomorrow and humanity, courtesy of you. Eid is a time of sacrifice, love, and of sharing what we have with those who have not. During this Eid al-Adha, don't let them be forgotten. Let your giving be their celebration. Because when you give to an orphan, you give to Allah.
Kindly donate a minimum of 10,000 naira to Zakat and Sadaqah Foundation to feed, clothe, and orphan.
Be the reason why the orphans smile.
You're welcome back. The program is the first 10 days in Hijjah. It's day 6, and we are talking about zakat. Are you zakatable? Do you qualify to pay zakat and you just neglect it and say, I hear that it's even a sin. If you have enough, up to, I hear it is now 14,300,000. If you have that, you know that you are zakatable. Try and go and pay so that you can purify. It's an investment for you here and after. Now, doctor is still here. We are talking about those who qualify. Can you decide in a family that, okay, I have some siblings that are not well off. Can my siblings qualify to pay zakat?
Of course, they are qualified.
They are your siblings, so they are
not your responsibilities.
Okay.
Your responsibility is your family, your wife, and your children. So that is why your siblings, you can give them zakat. And
not sadaqah?
No, you can give them sadaqah too. Okay. But your zakat, you can give it to your sibling. In fact, the husband, for instance, cannot give zakat to his wife. But the wife can give zakat to the husband. If the wife is so stupendously rich, and she knows, she has the information, and I mean, she will know that her husband is not so, slightly dependent. She can give the zakat because she's not the breadwinner of the family ordinarily.
Because some people would have me, I have family members that are in need. I would not go and be giving my money to outsiders. Some people can think like that.
There are different reasons why we should organize. In fact, even as much as you can give, it's also sometimes it could be also counterproductive too, when you give directly to your sibling.
Okay.
In our kind of African setting. So people will be able to know you have so much.
Okay.
If you give one.
Must they know his zakat?
No, well, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Either you know they know zakat. So when you give it to an organization, you can also tell the organization
I want
those
to be
specific
anonymous.
person
Okay.
that they must give it to. They will oblige you. Oh, I want to give this so amount of money as zakat, but these are the beneficiaries that want to benefit. So they will know, they will get it, but they will not know it's coming from you.
Okay.
And that is more meritorious.
Because they say give with the right.
And the left will
should
not know.
know.
Yeah, so
Alright.
these are facilities that are available in most of these zakat agencies.
Okay, it is also encouraged that when you receive zakat, you should also aspire to give subsequently.
Yes, that is the reason why we encourage people to give it to some of these, established agencies of zakat, because zakat is to take people out of poverty. In fact, it is not pittance, it's not sharing money, a small amount. It's to look at those. The first category of people are those poor people.
Okay.
People who are averagely closer to to somebody who can, within the little support, he can just move from the lower rank to the middle level. So when people are endowed that way, in the subsequent years, they will also be if they are not qualified to pay zakat, they will not be qualified to receive zakat in the subsequent
They
years.
have now left the platform of the receivers.
Receivers.
You know that a close relationship with Zakat and Sadaqah Foundation, when they screen beneficiaries, they screen for several reasons. If, for instance, they screen for empowerment, because I know that they have this business plan exercise they do.
Yes.
When they screen, if, for instance, a beneficiary brings a budget, they critically look at that budget vis-a-vis the business they want to set up or grow.
Yeah.
And sometimes they notice that whatever budget they have presented is not even enough. So they are magnanimous enough to even increase that money, so that the money being given is maximally utilized and it is really worth it. Yeah. So that's the reason maybe to go to the organized sector,
because they are well trained, and they have the expertise to be able to determine the needs of those who apply for zakat,
to meet the needs. Okay, for instance, the body are also doing. Is there a difference, or is there any relationship with endowments, because they also do some form of endowment?
Yes, the endowment is also one of the ways of bridging the gap between the rich and the poor.
Okay,
when somebody, it could be a seeded money, and said this money over a period of time should be given to these categories of persons. The one who is endowing will specify that these are the persons he wants to be enjoying the facility over a period of time. Most of these agencies are also involved in doing that, and Muslims are also encouraged. In fact, endowment is also part of what we call Sadaqatul Jariyah, perpetual charity that will occur.
You can even endow things for your late parents,
yes.
Okay, you see, Nigerians, or human nature generally, we tend to hide under the pretext of I'm poor now, and then you keep coming to receive and benefit. Should that sense of entitlement. How do you counsel people on it?
I think the issue is this. I tell, just when we mentioned the nisab of 14.3 million, it looks very huge. And particularly for those who are salary earners, that's one of the problems in the administration of zakat, particularly in a plural society like ours. Salary earners earn their salary on monthly basis, and their zakat is paid annually. How do we reconcile it?
Exactly.
And that's why I tell people,
with inflation,
what you do for those who are salary earners, look at your pay slip. Your basic allowance is your own salary. What you call the basic pay. I'm not talking of other allowance.
Transport, housing, and all
remove
of that.
all that.
Okay.
Transport, housing.
They're already
gone
spent
before you earn it. But the basic pay, which I'm sure in your pay slip will be reflected. Multiply it by 12. If you multiply it by 12, and it's,
I'm sure some money will not take some people to.
No, if you multiply by 12 and it reaches 14 million, then you are qualified to pay zakat. Then pay it. Just I'm sure if by the time you deduct 14-point-something million, 2.5 million out of it, 2.5% out of it cannot be more than maybe 30,000 or 50,000.
Okay.
That is small enough.
Mm.
And when you do that, one, you have the rest of mind that you have fulfilled,
fulfilled
the
the
rights
obligation.
of Allah and the obligation of religion. Two, you also have hope in Allah that the rest 97.5 that is with you,
Purified.
God will purify it and will multiply it for you.
Okay.
Because if you remove that salary earners out of the what they call the zakat bag, you are removing a large chunk of Muslims who are qualified to pay, who will not hide under being salary earners and will not pay.
Okay. Now, earlier on, when you listed some of the beneficiaries, you talked about the wayfarers, those who are in debt, even health challenge,
Yes.
and then the indigent generally.
Yeah, the poor and the needy.
What is the wisdom behind these categories of people, particularly, health challenge? Somebody in the hospital, and you see, some people are even so modest, they don't go searching. Shouldn't we, out of our magnanimity, even go searching for such beneficiaries?
Yes, in a plural, so in an Islamic society, the Imam, the Khalifa will know. And that's why zakat should be centrally collected. It is the job of those who are in charge of zakat to know those who are really qualified. That is their job. But in a society like ours, where it is a plural society, people even pay tax. There's another problem. People say, I pay tax to government. Why do I need to pay zakat again? It's a different thing. Tax is the obligation you owe to the state, the government. While zakat is the obligation you owe to Allah and the Ummah of Islam. So you have to pay it. Okay. And so what we are saying is that if you look at the list on the hierarchy is al-fuqara. And al-fuqara are those poor persons who may not necessarily come out to ask for it. They won't come. But these are persons who are just a little bit below survival level. If you assist them, what it means is that you have taken a large chunk of Muslims out of subsistence level. They will not be qualified to receive next year. And in subsequent year, they may also be qualified to pay. And next to them are the needy. Those are the rock bottom indigent people. You now have to like. So for health reasons, it's good. I think that's why I also want to tell those zakat and sadaqah agency, organization, foundation, and other similar ones, they should share information. I had been involved in it at a point in time, and I discovered, because people also abuse some of these provisions, and if they don't share information, somebody can come to said SF and also go elsewhere. Yeah, so and that's why I feel there should be a platform where they can relate very well and share information. Database. They can share information.
You have received from here.
Anonymity can still be maintained, but let us share information. Oh, you have given zakat to people this year. Who are they? Let us see their names. Let us see their pictures. We can also share so that when people turn up, because we are living in a society whereby, in spite of effort that the clerics are doing to impart Islamic knowledge, people abuse it.
Okay, bridging the gap. Yes, zakat has succeeded in bridging the gap between the rich and the poor in the society. And you know that sincerely, when the gap is bridged, we'll have less insurgents, we'll have less crime, we'll have less restiveness.
And people will love themselves more.
Yeah.
The
poor
will pray for the rich, knowing that the rich, when they have, they will give them.
Okay.
So they won't have animosity, malice against the rich. The poor will not be blaming the rich for their poverty.
Okay.
And the rich too will also respect the poor, that through them they are also earning more reward from Allah. So it becomes a mutual beneficial
somebody said
environment.
That it may be funny. Somebody said that I'm helping you to earn reward. I'm the receiver. You are the giver.
Yes.
If you are giving me zakat, I'm helping you to earn reward. You're not doing me any favor.
No, we should also understand that the beauty of food is in the eating of it. If somebody wants to make charity and there are no people to give it to, so there's this book written by a Senegalese author called The Beggar's Strike.
Yes.
So
we read it.
When the rich people want to give alms out, and the beggars were on the street to collect. So it becomes your alms becomes useless.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mustafa Adebayo Bello, for this insight. We must also thank, we are talking about Zakat, and you know that our partner on this program is Zakat and Sadaqah Foundation. They have done so well in this regard, screening people, endowing people, growing people's businesses. In fact, the structure they have laid is so wonderful that they are nationwide and even beyond the shores of Nigeria. We say thank you, Jazakumullahu Khairan, for what you do. We have been on this program, we have been partners for a lot more programs years back. Like I said earlier, you had even reached out to us when we had the Inferno mishap. We said Jazakumullahu Khairan to our Prince Suleiman Olagunju, the person at the helm of affairs, and the entire board members. Thank you very much for always being there for us. Again, reminder of our question that we asked at the beginning of the program. Bridging the gap. What is that pillar of Islam that bridges the gap between the rich and poor? Send your answer, and you can see that Zakat and Sadaqah Foundation has already endowed us with gift items that you'll be taking away. But remember, even if it is 10 of you that answer, the fastest figure wins it all. Just send it to our Facebook page, Ames Media Company Limited. And of course, you'll be called here to pick your gift item, which will also be complemented with sacrificial animal. So if you are not slaughtering, don't bother. You will also celebrate with others. That is the essence of Eid al-Adha that will be coming up in a few days' time. We'll make it a date with us same time tomorrow when we shall bring you another relevant topic as we continue with the series of the first 10 days in Hijjah. Until then, continue to maximize the benefits inherent in this period as we say, Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu.